this is Halloween Haunt here, and today I am doing a big video talking about the Morris Costumes and Distortions lineup from Transworld 2022. So, this year I kind of want to make opinion videos on every company and not just Spirit, but I kind of already missed the slot to make videos about the Morris Costumes lineup from back a few months ago and Distortions recently, so I thought since Transworld recently happened, I would just do one big video talking about everything so far. My disclaimer here is I'm not going to be including any delayed 2021 prop. That includes any of the techie stuff or the delayed or reissued Jemmy stuff like the Reagan or Jason. I'm strictly sticking to the new stuff that is meant for this year. I know Transworld has also a bunch of other booths that are also amazing. I would love to talk about those also, but to be honest, that video would be so long, and I think I really only have time for Morris and Distortions since their stuff is possibly going to make it on this channel. So let's go ahead and start with Morris Costumes first. Alright, so for Morris, before we start looking at their booth, I am going to talk about real quick their skull candelabra. I don't even remember seeing this at Transworld. It might have been there. I don't even remember seeing it, so I'll talk about it now. This thing's cool. It's just a light up candelabra, nothing too special, but it looks pretty nice and overall really cool. I also want to talk about the roaming Chucky that Jemmy is making. I don't know why they're making another roaming Chucky. It's not even for spirits, and it doesn't even have original mold, so I don't really care about this thing. I don't think it looks that great, and overall I just don't really care about this prop, so I'm just going to move on already. Now back to the actual full-on lineup. We have a first prop, the Hulking Werewolf. I gotta say, when I first saw this prop's demo, I didn't really care about this prop too much. It kind of looked too bulky, it looked too weird, the movement seemed very limited, but when it was at Transworld, the body looked a lot more in better shape. It looked like it was in a better fit, and overall it looked a lot more nice. But the head actually turned from side to side, and it made me like this prop so much more that I went ahead and placed an order on one. Now, just because you place an order doesn't mean you get it. You can always cancel the order or just not go through with it. And so I might do that. I might cancel the order or just not go through with it because I know other stores this year will also have probably good stuff. So I might not get this prop, but so far I really like it and I do really want it. So overall, the Hulking Werewolf is a good prop in my opinion. Next on our list is the Whimsical Witch. Now, she's supposed to be more of a classy Halloween prop. Not scary, more for a more friendly display or indoors. And that's fine once in a while. I don't mind getting these props because not every prop needs to be scary. And I think it's fine once in a while to have more cliche props. But with that being said, I don't really care for this prop. It's not because it's just cliche and cute, but the fact that it just doesn't look that good. I think the best part about this prop is the clothing. Otherwise, the face and voice just remind me of every other SVA witch that is supposedly scary. This prop just doesn't feel unique besides the clothing, and I just don't really care for this prop, so yes, I'm not going to get this prop. Next prop on our list is the Tumbling Clown, and I gotta say, this prop in my opinion is honestly really cool. I think this prop is too overlooked. I think a lot of people just don't care about it because it's just a clown doll on a small ride that twirls on a motor. And while that is true, personally, I love this character. I have every single clown ride, so for me to not get this would be a disgrace. I love this prop. It's super cool, super unique too. I like this idea of it, and the audio actually is unique unlike the other clown rides, so it does stand out in a display or in general on its own. It is just pretty unique. And I definitely think I will keep my order on this one. I like this prop that much that I will probably keep my order on this prop. So overall, yes, the Tumbling Clown is awesome. I'm a little concerned about the motor. It did fall off at Transworld, but I hope the overall release model is fine because this prop is really awesome. Next is the Rotten Harvester. Now, this prop makes me very happy. Just the fact that we actually got a full-on towering scarecrow that isn't a pumpkin. This guy looks just like I would think a towering scarecrow would, and it makes me very happy that Morris finally made one. It kind of feels so real it's even made. However, I do have a complaint. The scarecrow has a bonus feature. It holds this pumpkin plant, and it is really cool, don't get me wrong. I like the idea a lot. But the pumpkin plant is very cheap, It's got one of those like man-eating plant mouths, which are really cheap and flimsy, and it's like its entire body is kind of like fabric, which looks really cheap and lazy. It doesn't look like terrible, but it doesn't look that great. I'm a little sad about that. But regardless, this animatronic is great. I am probably going to keep my order on this one also, just like the tumbling clown, because this guy is just really awesome, and I definitely would love to own it. The Graveyard Host now is the next one I'm talking about, and I gotta say, this prop, in my opinion, is very, very awesome. I'm a big fan of the big 10-foot towering props. I bought the Towering Reaper last year, and I love that guy, and I like how we're getting a 10-foot Gravedigger. Now, I've seen a lot of hate for this guy because of the fact that it is 10 feet tall, and it's almost like too overly tall for this kind of prop. It could just be 7 feet tall. But personally, I don't mind that because of the fact that we already get so many 6-foot and 7-foot Gravediggers. However, I will say that if it was 7 foot, I probably would still buy this prop because I still really enjoy it. But I do like how it's 10 feet. I don't mind that at all. I'm a little worried about the welding, judging by Transworld's model of the Graveyard Host, but overall this prop seems really awesome. And I did order this one, and just like the Tumbling Clown and the Rotten Harvester, I will probably keep my order. The next on our list is the Servo Crown Witch. Now, this is one of 2 servo props that Morris was supposed to sell this year, but the Servo Ghoul got unreleased because of the fact that Morris thought they could do better on it, and so they canceled it, which I don't really get because there's another prop on this list that I hate, but we'll get into that later. But yeah, unfortunately that one unreleased. That one was supposed to have like LCD eyes and such like that, so it would have been cool. There's a possibility it might still come out this year since it's back on the website, but we don't know for sure. But anyways, back to the Servo Witch. This is our released servo prop so far, and I think it is okay. I think it is kind of cool, but I'm also not a big fan of it. I think it's the face. I think the face looks kind of weird, and I'm not sure why. At Transworld, it did rip really bad. It just got worse and worse over time, so the mask is pretty cheap, according to Transworld. But I don't know, the face looks kind of weird, and the audio is kind of weird too. I do like the idea of a Servo Witch, I just don't know if I like the execution 100%. So I probably won't get this prop, but I do think it is somewhat cool. The next one is the 8-foot towering skeleton with projection eyes, and when I first heard about this thing, I thought it'd be pretty cool. But when I saw it, I thought it was pretty mid. I'm not a huge fan of this prop. I do think it looks very awesome, for sure. And I do really like when SVI makes skeleton stuff. Of course, that being like Grim or the 12-foot skeleton from Home Depot. I love those things. But last year, Best Buy sold an 8-foot skeleton, and I thought it looked pretty cool. It even had the LCD eyes, but the audio I found always cheesy. Even for a prop like that, I just found really cheesy. And I find the same thing with this guy, because this guy is the exact same prop, but with projection eyes. It's got the same audio as the 8-foot Best Buy skeleton, and the same look and overall, and the same height. It's just the same thing as the Best Buy skeleton, but with projection eyes. I just don't really care about this prop personally. It's very mid. It does look kind of cool again. The projection eyes are cool. It's cool to see something unique, but I do think the LCD eyes look better on the skeleton, so I don't really like this prop that much. It's okay. I'm not going to get it at all. Okay, next prop, guys, is Pesky the Clown. This prop is... It sucks! Okay, I hate this prop. It's so bad, okay? Like, this is the suck-up prop to Big Top Clown, which is a clown that nobody talks about. Who talks about Big Top Clown? Who praises that prop? I don't know who does. This prop sucks. It has less movement than every towering clown, yet it is the most expensive one. Pass. Hate it. The next prop on our list is the Whimsical Scarecrow. Now, just like the Whimsical Witch, this prop is supposed to be more cutesy and friendly and for like indoors or small outdoor stuff. And I personally do think this prop is pretty cool. Unlike the Witch, I actually do like this prop a lot. It looks really nice. The pumpkin looks great. The clothing looks fantastic. I even like the little crow on his arm. I think this prop is really cool, and even the audio sounds really great too. I'm just not going to buy this prop because I'm not really in the market for these type of friendly props, but I do think it is overall very cool. Even if I'm not buying it, I still think it's a very nice prop. Right, so we're now moving into the distortions part of this video. I did forget 2 more props, those being Jack is Back and Jack Widow, but those were also made by Distortions, so I'll kind of just put this part of the video. But basically, we'll start with Jack is Back first. This guy is really awesome. He's basically this pumpkin dude. He's got a knife. He's even in this jumpsuit. It kind of reminds me of Michael Myers, which is really cool. I just like the overall look. His face is really nice too. His face looks very similar to other props like Pumpkin Stalker, who Distortions also made, which is fine too. I kind of like how they've kind of connected these props all together in some sort of theme, because they all look really good together. But yeah, I do want Jack is Back, but I don't think I'll buy him this year. I have my eyes on other Distortions props this year, but hopefully in the future I do get him, because he's definitely one of those props on my list that I want to get in the future from Distortions, so I will hopefully eventually get him. So now talking about Jack Widow, this guy is really awesome. This is basically a pumpkin spider. The idea is very weird for sure, but they actually managed to pull it off very well. And this is one I actually did order at the Morris Costumes booth. It's a lot cheaper than what it's selling for right now, so I got it from the Morris Costumes booth, and I'm very excited to own it. So you guys will hopefully see that on my channel in the near future. But yes, I did order the Jack Widow, and I think it's very awesome. Next is the Yeti Blood Beast animatronic, and then this guy is pretty cool. He's not really my type of prop, I guess. I do think he's cool, but I prefer some other Distortions props. But I do think he is very excellent. He is very creepy and scary. But again, he's not my favorite character, but I do think they did an awesome job with this guy, and he is pretty cool for what he is. The next one is the T-Rex head mount. Next is the T-Rex head mount. Now this thing is pretty cool, don't get me wrong, but I don't really want it because it's not something I would really use for Halloween. I think it actually works more for like attractions or conventions, like Transworld, but it is really cool still. It looks really nice and very realistic. Obviously, it's really awesome. I'm not going to get it, but it is a pretty cool thing. And again, I don't really want it just because I wouldn't really have use for it, but overall, it is very nice. The next one now is Mutant. Now, this guy is so awesome. I think even at Transworld, he looked even cooler and better, and that's kind of where I liked him a lot than I did before, because I wasn't really into this prop, but once people started recording in person at Transworld, it seems really effective and it is really awesome. I love the way it violently shakes. This thing is scary. This thing is a really scary prop. I would love to own this someday. I don't know if I can because I just don't have that much money, but this thing is awesome for sure, and I definitely love it. Now these next three are ones I really like. We have Creep. Creep is essentially this big 6-foot clown. It looks like at least 6 foot, and it's just like Jack is Back with the jumpsuit and the knife, but instead of being a pumpkin, it is a clown. And I think this look looks awesome. I love the look of this guy so much, and his face sculpt is so phenomenal. It looks amazing. I love this thing a lot. I mean, the hair is pretty cool on it, but the face sculpt especially is one of the best sculpts I think I've ever seen on a clown prop, which is definitely saying something. I think this prop looks really awesome, and it's probably going to be one I get. I just can't see myself passing on this one. I think I might have to buy this guy. I like him a lot. It's definitely one of my favorite props at Transworld. It looks really awesome, and I think it is honestly a really cool prop, even if it's static. The next one on the list is Little Creep. Little Creep is essentially just like Big Creep, but instead of making it just the same thing but smaller, 3-footish, 4-footish, they actually changed the sculpt. The sculpt is still very similar, but he's got his mouth open, he's got different color scheme on his face, he's got no hair. He just looks awesome, and honestly, he's probably going to be one I want to get too. If I want to get Big Creep, I want to get Little Creep too. They work very well together, and it's just like Jack is Back again with the jumpsuit, but it doesn't have a knife. It actually has a sword, which is pretty interesting. So overall, this guy is awesome, and probably one I will have to get as well with Big Creep. Now, if I don't get Big Creep or Little Creep, it's because of this prop right here, Creep Show. This guy's essentially Big Creep and Little Creep, but combined, and he is awesome. I love this prop a lot. Like, I actually wish I had a ton of money so I could go ahead and spend my money on this thing. This thing is awesome. It's both the clowns combined to be a full-on animatronic. Little Creep kind of swings back and forth with his legs moving, and of course Big Creep moves his head up and down and kind of lunges forward. This guy is awesome. I just wish I had the money for it. That is why I might get the static ones to kind of fill that void. But if I don't get the static ones, it might be because someday I just want to afford these ones instead, the full-on versions. And their suits here look so much more better. I kind of wish even the static ones had this suit, but of course I can understand why this suit is very expensive too for this prop, so I can see all the money that went into this guy for sure. They're probably my favorite prop at Distortions this year, either them or Mutant, but I think it's gonna be Creepshow, honestly. This prop is awesome. I wish I could have it. I hope someday I can truly have this prop, because this guy is just too cool to not own. That is pretty much the entire lineup for Morse Costumes and Distortions so far. I'm overall very happy with their booths this year at Transworld. I didn't go to Transworld this year, unfortunately. I would have really liked to, but I couldn't. So hopefully next year you'll see me there. I also want to give credit to the following sources for the videos: Morse Costumes, Distortions, and Ryan Taunts for these videos. All those videos belong to them. But overall, I am very happy with this year so far. All the other booths seem amazing. I'm actually pretty surprised that I liked Morse Costumes this year. I thought they were going to be kind of bad, but actually were pretty decent this year. Not my favorite year ever, but I think this year is still pretty good for them. As for Distortions, they usually have pretty good years every year. I think they usually always have really great props every year, so this is definitely no surprise. Distortions did awesome this year, and that's pretty much it, guys. So yeah, if you guys enjoyed, make sure to subscribe, and I'll see you guys later, and goodbye.